Hi, welcome to Simple Not Easy. I'm Gavin Bowen. Well, it's been 2 years since the last time I did one of these videos giving you my opinion on how I'm voting for the California propositions on the general election. Well, we have another one coming up. It's already 2018, California general election. There are 11 propositions on the ballot this year on November 6th. Again, I'm no expert. I'm somebody who's interested in this and took the time to read it for you and look at the ways it can help California. I think a lot of these can, I think some of them can't, and some of them are just too confusing for us citizens to have to decide on. So with that said, obviously we'll start with Prop 1. Prop 1 authorizes bonds to fund specified housing assistance programs. Basically, it authorizes $4 billion in general election bonds for existing affordable housing programs for veterans, farm workers, manufactured and mobile homes. In fact, we have 4 propositions that are bond related. So we should probably talk about what bonds actually are. Here's what the old booklet has to say. Bonds are a way that governments and companies borrow money. A state government uses bonds primarily to pay for the planning, construction, and renovation of infrastructure projects. Okay. The state sells bonds to investors to receive upfront funding for the projects. Right. So basically, bonds lead to debt. Debt, it's not always a good thing, but they have this cool little graph. You should look at this graph. It's on page 73, figure 1, general fund debt service ratio. And if you look at the very end here, so the debt service ratio right now is a little bit above 4% on that little graph. 4%. Says here, if voters do not approve any of the proposed bonds on this ballot, we project that the state's debt service ratio on already approved bonds will grow over the next few years, peaking at just over 4.5% in 2021-22. If voters approve all the proposed general obligation bonds on this ballot, we project it would increase the debt service ratio by less than 1/2 of 1 percentage point compared to what it would otherwise have been. So that seems very small, huh? So, okay. Do we want to pass all of these propositions that are bonds related? A yes vote on this measure means it allows the state to sell $4 billion in general obligation bonds to fund veterans and affordable housing. A no would not do that. $4 billion, again, remembering what, it's less than 1%, whatever it was. It's not a lot. This is a good thing for the housing. I'm gonna vote yes on Prop 1. Now, if you're looking at Prop 1 and you're wondering, okay, well, who actually opposes Prop 1? Well, there are people who do oppose it, but there's this interesting character that pops up a lot in this general election ballot, and that would be the gentleman Gary Wesley. Seems that Gary Wesley is a private citizen who has done this before, where he writes the opposition to a proposition because he feels like, well, somebody's got to do it. That's literally what he said. He doesn't have a good reason here. He always goes back to there has to be a better approach than increasing debt and bonds and taxes, yada, yada, yada. He makes some good points, sure, but this is kind of what we do in California. We've had a lot of success with it. Again, I'm gonna vote yes on Prop 1.